Hi, foodies. Thanks for joining me late on Friday. I've had so much going on. In fact, today I had two Foodies Project events. One at Pepperwood Preserve because I wanted to re-inspire people to stick to their New Year's resolutions of being healthy and just going out and having a fun time in nature, and also eating there too. We had a great meal sourced by Laguna Farm. Great little rice wraps in nori, and I'll probably put that recipe on the blog, even though it's not really what we're talking about today, but everybody really loved the wraps that I made, so I'll share that with you as well. So, and then after that, at Laguna Farm, we had a juicing party and learned how to juice, and not only learn how to juice, but what to do with that pulp that's left over. Really awesome ideas, making burgers out of the pulp, like veggie burgers, using some of the scraps for stock. Jennifer, who is a farmer at Laguna Farm, she made these amazing raw crackers that were dehydrated from the pulp. And another colleague of hers made a zucchini-style bread with the pulp as well. It was like parsley and carrots, and everything is just so amazing today. So sorry about being late, but there you go. So that's all the fun we have at Foodies Project. So join our meetup and come join us, please, if you can. If not, joining us here is great too. Anyway, so we're loving our veggies, and so this could also be appropriately named "What's in my CSA box this month?" But in February, what comes in my CSA box is really representative of what's in season at this point in the year, especially here in Northern California. So what I have today is not all that innovative or weird, but I think that I have a few things to say about it. So what I have for you is carrots. But not just carrots. This is really representative of all of our root vegetables in the wintertime. They actually get sweeter. I don't know about you, but I always thought that carrots and beets and kale and everything else is probably better in the summertime or maybe in the fall. That's just not so. Carrots and beets, because of the cold weather, they're putting more into getting those nutrients down into the root. So, you know, in the summer, they're kind of comfortable and warm, and their leaves are growing, and they're thriving, and they're great. But in the summertime, they're kind of more stressed out. And then they also get water, too. Not so much this year where we are, but they get more water, so that also helps as well. So between the cold and the water makes a super, super sweet veggie. Like I said, with the kale and beets, they all get very sweet as well. So, and that also relates to how we eat in the wintertime anyway. You know, these plants, a lot of plants really depend on us to cultivate them to survive. So they make themselves desirable to us as a way of survival, believe it or not. We have a very symbiotic relationship to our food in that way. And so, and if you don't believe me, PBS should have the documentary Botany of Desire by Michael Pollan, and you can watch that. And he also has a book named the same, so if you feel like investing the time to read that as well, great, fascinating stuff about plants and food. So was I talking about that? So anyway, so they're sweeter because in the wintertime, theoretically, we need more sugar, and so that's what they do. They say, hey, I got more sugar in here, eat me, plant me, keep it going. So I'm sure that you know a lot about what to do with carrots. You know, I like to make a lot of carrot ginger soup in the wintertime, as it has vitamin C. The ginger is going to keep you well. You can add a little garlic in there. So that's a great soup that not only warms you up, but keeps your immune system up as well. And really simple, you know, just some onions, some garlic, some chopped ginger, and then put the carrots in there with as much stock or water that you want. Salt it, and you know, you can either eat it that way, or I prefer to blend it, so either with a little hand mixer or be very careful getting it into your blender, and only do like half a batch at a time. If it's a small batch, maybe even 3 or 4 if you're making a huge batch. For some reason you get a truckload of carrots or something. I don't know. They also freeze really well, so once they're processed. So if you cook them and you know, just cook them in water or cook them in stock and puree them and put it in the freezer, and then when you need a quick meal, just pull it out, add some garlic and ginger, and you know, you have a quick soup, especially if you have cold season coming up. So those are my little tips and tricks about carrots, but just to let you know, don't disregard those beets and carrots and kale and other lettuces as well. Also get really sweet at this time of year. Another thing with carrots, you'll see the top, this came with like big leafy tops, and they look great. And you can actually eat the carrot tops. They're pretty bitter, and they take some processing, but experiment with it if you want. They make a great pesto. But when you get them home, what they do is they start if it still has all of the foliage on it, it will start to pull nutrients out of the carrot. And you, after a couple days of it being on there, your carrot can get really bitter. So once you purchase them, if you want to use the greens, go ahead and separate those and put those aside and store these separately. So if you have any questions, comments, foodiesproject.com, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, however you want to connect, I'll be on the other side, and I hope you have a delicious week. All right, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye.